right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about the quarterbacks, Pat Mahomes, this is a league of quarterbacks. Do you think sincerely that the Dallas Cowboys need to change Dak Prescott in order to?
Dak's a very talented quarterback, and Dak can win a championship, but you got to have the right people around him, and they've got to perform at a championship level.
What does it take to the details you have to take care in order to win a Super Bowl?
Well, big thing you got to do is you've got to position yourself to where you can, have success in the playoffs. And the main thing is if you win your division, you're going to have a home playoff game. And then on top of that, if you can get the best record in the regular season, not only will you get a home playoff game, you'll get a bye to get your team healthy. And that's what's happened, with the teams that we're going to see Sunday. They got the bye and, ended up getting a home playoff game.
What would you change so they can be back in a Super Bowl?
Oh, what would I change? If I went back to the Cowboys, I would change about 40 years on my age. That's the only thing I know.
The Cowboys have a lot of needs right now, a lot of decisions to make. Tony Pollard's a free agent, Dalton Schultz is a free agent. They need a wide receiver too. What would you do to kind of help Dak out? What specifically do the Cowboys need to do to help Dak Prescott out in the future years?
Well, Dak had his best years, avoided the turnovers and the negative plays when he had a great offensive line and they ran the football. So running the football is going to be a big part of it. Now, Pollard could be, they could put the franchise tag on Pollard because the numbers financially are not that big for a running back. But they got to keep as many good players as they can and add some to the team with the draft.
Hey, Jimmy, you made it look so simple to go from 1-15 to back-to-back, be able to have that success 26 years. Does time make you appreciate what you did during that time?
Well, I think I appreciate what we did. I don't know if everybody else does.
Do you believe McCarthy's play calling is going to be much different compared to Kellen Moore's?
Yeah, I think Mike will be a little different than Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore did a lot of different formations and et cetera, et cetera. I think, basic fundamentals is going to be more what Mike wants to do.
You were talking about Troy and how, or you were talking about Brady in regards to greatest of all time, but maybe there's, different levels of talented quarterbacks. Do you feel like Troy got overlooked because of all the offensive weapons he had around him with Emmett, Irvin, among others?
Well, I think our team got overlooked in some ways. First of all, Troy got overlooked because we didn't throw the ball that much. We didn't need to throw the ball that much. We ran the football and played great defense. The other thing is they talked about Troy didn't have that many comebacks. Well, we didn't have many comebacks because we weren't behind. and the other thing that's amazing to me, the first three guys that go into the Hall of Fame, you got the triplets. You got Michael Irvin, and Troy and Emmett. But we led the league in total defense, and so having a great defense helped them get the ball and score points.
Coach, to piggyback off that, I know it was one of your players, and obviously, what's your favorite Super Bowl memory?
My favorite memory, I don't think I ever coached a game. I'm a regular season game, college, pro, high school. I never ever coached a game and I was as confident about winning as the first Super Bowl against Buffalo. I told our team the night before the game, I said, guys, listen, they turn the ball over too much. We don't turn the ball over. We're going to be conservative to start the game. But once they start turning it over, then we're going to open it up to Michael and Alvin and go ahead and open up the offense. And so the day of the game, I'm walking with my staff before the pregame meal. I said, guys, get ready for a ring because we're fixing to win ourselves a Super Bowl.
Where do you keep your ring now?
Well, I got one on my hand. No idea.
Jimmy, what do you think about Mike McCarthy now being the play caller for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think Mike is a lot more comfortable now calling plays and actually being in charge of the offense. And this is nothing against Kellen Moore. He's really a talented offensive coordinator, but Mike wanted to do it himself. And so I think that'll be a positive for the Cowboys.
Are you a little surprised? Jerry is 80 now, and he had a chance to hire Sean Payton. That was his dream job. Are you slightly surprised that maybe he didn't make that change?
Well, no, because when you look at the numbers, Mike McCarthy and Sean's numbers are very similar. And I think both are outstanding football coaches. And so it could be a good fit with Mike calling plays and taking over the offense. So, like I said, when you just compare the two, it's hard to pick, because they're both outstanding. What memories in my career? The next year, Emmett holds out a couple of games. We struggle a little bit early. Everybody's expecting us to win by 3 touchdowns. And we eventually won another Super Bowl. But it was more of a relief winning the second Super Bowl. And so there is a drain. The other thing, too, even your coaches. Bill Belichick came down and talked to me after his first Super Bowl. And I said, Bill, you're the only guy that's got the hammer. I said, even your assistant coaches. One story, Joe Brodsky, who is no longer with us, was a great running back coach. Emmett had held out those 2 games, and we had Derek Lassick, and Joe was just wearing Derek Lassick out, a rookie. And this was after Emmett had come back, after the holdout. I said, Joe, I understand, Coach Lassick, but I want Emmett in there taking the snaps. Emmett's going to be the one that'll determine us winning games. And Joe said, hey, Coach, he's fine. He's a veteran. He'll be fine Sunday. And I just blew up because, the assistant coaches become friends with the players. They get complacent. That's just human nature. So I told Bill, I said, you're the only guy that's got the hammer. You've got to demand it from your assistant coaches as well as your players.
The game has changed so much.
Jimmy, sorry, yes. Really quickly, as a
This game. And I said, I went to a meeting before we headed to Pasadena. I said, guys, listen, Buffalo turns the ball over. We don't turn it over. If we're out on this practice field and nobody's watching, everybody's saying, hey, because the media, 130 million people watching, and we're so young and inexperienced, you're going to choke. I said, but if we're out on this practice field and nobody's watching, you'll kick their ass. I said, because we're the better team. I said, now if I got a 2x4 and I lay it down here on the ground and I say, Nate Newton, get your big old fat rear end, walk from one end to the other, your mindset is I'm going to walk from one end to the other. I said, Troy Aikman, you get Michael Irvin, no big deal. I said, but if I take that 2x4 and put it up 10 feet, you're going to get on and you're going to go, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. That's the seed in your mind, and you're going to fall. So here's what I say in playing this game. We're the better team. We're going to kick their ass. And you just play every play as if you're out here on this practice field, and nobody's watching. But I told that to Kansas City.
You've coached.
Thanks, Coach.
You coached in conference title games on the road. You coached
out there at their place. I thought they were the better team, but we were the better team that day. And we had a great game plan. Troy, Alvin and Michael had a great game. Emmett, our defense got them to turn the ball over 3 or 4 times. And so we were able to win the game. And once we won that game, I knew we were going to beat Buffalo.